Well, here it is. Days later, I'm not able to jog right now because I have a pulled calf muscle and I started to get shin splint, but it's like a first degree. So the only way that I know that is because I read it online. I didn't go to doctors because I don't I don't have insurance coverage right now, so I'm not able to do that. But I did Google it and look at some information. I believe it was the Mayo Clinic site, and read up on that. And of course, it says to behave and not to jog, which I certainly don't want to do. So I've been trying, and today's Tuesday. The last time I ran was Thursday, and I only ran a little bit. Other than that, one of the days I did some fast walking, and I've had a situation at the place where I work. There is someone there who is stalking me, and I didn't really realize that that was this. The person kept coming up to me. It's been there numerous times. Not, making conversation, saying, "How are you?" or discussing anything about business. Just continuously making the same remarks, such as, "I really like you a lot," emphasizing it as if, I'm not getting it through my head. Was asked me if I'm married. I felt very uncomfortable at that point, so I said, yes, I am. And, it's really not a good idea to say things, but definitely worried for myself. So I said, yes, I am, in hopes that he would go away, because it is my place of employment, and I just don't want him to be interested in me. And he said to me, "No, you're not," in response to my answer. And the next time he came back, he said it again to me. And then he showed up a couple of days ago, and he leaned over the counter to me and said, "I want you to give me your cell phone number." And he's not smiling anymore when he comes in and makes his statements. I found out that while I was taking a late lunch, he was actually hanging out where I work. And someone said they didn't know why he was hanging out there. I didn't see him when I got back from lunch, but not much longer after that, he did show up and approached me, making those remarks. And I told him no, and he was not happy with that. And he came back around later and nodded at me and tilted his head and looked at me like this, and just kept walking while he made eye contact, not saying anything to me. So I now have armed guards escorting me to and from my car. And I'm glad none of them have said, "Oh, let me check inside your car," because of my living situation. And I don't want them to know my situation. I just want to separate that from my job for now if I can. Obviously, if somebody sees me on this video, that'll be another story. But I feel pretty certain that this company wouldn't fire me if they knew my living situation. I don't believe that they would. If I was working for my old employer, I would think that they probably would, because they are more concerned about how they look. That's a very different mindset compared to where I am now. So I could be wrong about my employer, but I don't feel at this time um, that they would do that type of thing to me. And they have raised funds for uh, people who are in need of food pantries, and done some really great things. So I think I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, and they certainly promote awareness and encourage staff to get involved with helping out. And I didn't want to embarrass myself, of course, or really let on to my situation. So I actually brought them some food that I'd had, of course. I don't have a place to cook anymore, so that was easy. I brought it over there, even though it would have lasted a long time until I got hopefully get another place. Hopefully it won't be too long. Um, I don't know, my financial status would really have to change in order for me to afford a place. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm trying to get my book sales to kick off with the little bit of money that I have, and I have to be living somewhere for the winter. It's going to make things extremely difficult. I just won't even be able to pay for the bare necessities, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe I can find a really cheap place. I'm not sure. So I think it's best for me to talk at night when it's dark, in case there was someone who is not really safe. You can't see where I am or what's going on, which is better at this time. I did take a picture so that you'd have something to look at on the site. I went there to have the pictures taken. I honestly don't work out at that location for safety reasons. And I have a friend who hopefully will get those photos to me soon. So I am just going through, a tremendous amount of stress right now. This stalking situation does not help at all whatsoever. Um, Security is aware of the issue. They are waiting to get further pictures of the person. We do have some of his information. And, of course, when you make accusations against someone, they also do have legal rights, things that protect them. And, those things are put in place, of course, to protect people who are innocent. I wish I could say that he's innocent. I did not contact anyone until this past Sunday, a couple of days ago. I just thought the things that I was saying to him, would it discourage him and that he would stop coming around. But he's gotten aggressive and telling me that he wants my phone number, even after I told him that I was married. So that definitely concerns me, and then especially him coming back yet again after that, and giving me a look with a tilt of the head, staring at me while he was walking away, not watching where he was going, not taking his eyes off of me. It's kind of like that head tilting thing that, you're dissing me type of look. And, people could say, yeah, maybe I'm reading into it, but I think I've studied enough behavior to know better, and I've also found out where he lives, and I was told that, it is a really bad neighborhood where he comes from. So, he could have those tough tendencies, because you kind of have to be tough sometimes when you live in the streets like that, so that people won't take advantage, or, hopefully they'll leave you alone. And it's not to say that everyone is like that lives in those types of neighborhoods. I'm sure there are some very nice families that are in those locations. I'm just giving some information is what I'm doing, and of course I won't disclose his name at this time the appropriate people do have his information, and I can say that he's a little younger than me. I'm in my 40s, and he certainly doesn't look like he is. Other information that I've looked up indicates that he, if I have the correct records, it is definitely younger than me, which he certainly looks. And so sometimes these things happen. Otherwise, I met some nice people at work today, and it was nice to spend time with them. Those are always good things. Then, of course, you always get the cute little kids that come in the store and do something that puts a smile on your face, so that certainly makes it nice. And some of my coworkers make funny remarks and joke around, and so those are good times too. So there are some good moments in the day, but I'm really struggling, and I absolutely need to get out of this lifestyle. And I would just like to write full time. I wouldn't have to have a place of employment, concerned about somebody stalking me there. These types of things happen in those locations. I've been talking with some security personnel. These are armed security guards that are escorting me, and getting some feedback from them. And of course, when you work a position like theirs, you know more of the statistics and whatnot, and from stalking and what people do. Excuse me for a second, I need a drink. Very hot today. It was in the 90s. Not very hot right now. I have the engine running on the car to power my laptop because my battery died on it. And the air conditioning is broken in the car, so it's pretty sweaty in here right about now. But I just wanted to talk about this for a little bit, and also give people some insight of what goes through a person's mind while they're being stalked. I do know a couple people who have had unfortunate situations. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Laura Cowan. I did do a story on her. She is an amazing woman who, wow, kudos to you, Laura, if you're listening to this right now. She's just an absolutely amazing person who has been through extreme domestic violence. Her story was one of being controlled and locked into a garage with her family. Locked in there for about 6 months. And some people have described it as Reign of Terror. I know her story was written up in the LA Times as well. And I spoke with Laura lengthily on the phone when I did her interview. And I really came away from that whole story, of course not knowing what the experience would be when I spoke with her. And she's just amazing. She finally came through and was able to rescue herself and her family. You can Google her story. It's Laura, and the last name is Cowan. She was in California at the time. She is in Ohio right now. And don't mind me, I'm just being distracted by some people that are walking by. What's transpiring with them. Of course, it's small children running, so that's always a distraction with me. And some of the things that go through your head when you're in a situation, as they said, a victim situation. It's a very different mindset. I'm working on writing a book series, and I've written the first book, and things have been said about me, like my professor from Sacred Heart University, he sent me a quote and said that I could use it, saying that I'm highly perceptive and insightful. And it's given me great ability to be creative with my writing, to get inside the minds of my characters and really bring out their personalities and really make you feel while you're reading the book, get you involved. Um, People make comments to me about that they feel like they're there watching it transpire. And when you're even deeper into that, when you're the actual person going through it brings you even to another level. And this is something else that I'll be able to add to my writing, because I'll be able to dig into this part of it as being the victim. And I also do plan on writing a murder series. I've got about 7 books that I want to put into that. And I also have a third series that I'm going to write as well, which is more based on true stories. So, I've got the first set, the 48 series, which is about a wealthy, dysfunctional family. That, once it's completed, will be 5 books. It actually has a twisted story that runs through it. It seems complete at the ending of each book, and will give the reader, will give you some closure. But when you put all 5 books together, you'll see that there's actually a story from start to finish through the 5 books. So, uh, and that was something that I thought would be really fun to do. I realize that authors don't tend to do things like that, maybe for certain reasons, but this is a new age, and this is something I've decided that I'm going to do. I don't necessarily have an interest in being like everyone else. Not to say if they're bad, because there's amazing authors out there, and there always will be, I'm sure. But some of the things that I've been dealing with in the last few days, since this person has come back and is really starting to get aggressive and adamant with me, is the thoughts that run through your minds when you are a victim. I even had thought yesterday, thinking, I wish everyone drove the same type of car, because then I would just blend in with everyone else. And I've had people making comments to me saying, how does it feel to be really popular? But this is not being really popular. This is someone who is ill and their mind is not functioning properly. They seem quite determined that they're going to have a relationship with me. I guess their mind is telling them that they are going to have a relationship with me, but I'm not cooperating, so I don't know what's going to transpire because of that. This is why I am alarmed and I'm greatly concerned, because you never know what these people can do. And the, getting into the shower this morning, thinking about, okay, I've got to, pulling out the razor, I'm going to shave, and, what can I do to prepare myself in case I am grabbed and abducted, sorry, I can't even talk right now. And I think to myself, what can I do? Well, some of the things I could do, and that would be helpful, and I'm sure might freak my brother out, but, to send him some samples of my DNA, my hair, saliva, blood, fingernail clippings, and I'm sure it'll just totally freak him out. He's not happy about this at all. He wishes that he was here with me. But I told him I have contacted the police. They've taken a report. I have another call into them for update, and was told messages were left for him, the reporting officer, but I have not heard back from the reporting officer, because another employee has told me that she saw the same person hanging out, and acknowledged and stated that other days that she had seen him. So, um, I just wanted to give them more information. I had a police officer tell me today that, was questioning him, and he didn't want to write a report, and he didn't want to take any information. And I said to him, so you're telling me that you're not going to be writing any information down because it's not going to make a difference? And he said, yes, that's correct. So, of course, to me, that would make a difference, because if I was attacked, there would be this information on record for prosecuting a case, and I feel that a judge would give a stronger sentence. So, these are all things. People put their opinion in, and they do it their way, and I don't necessarily agree with that. So, it's concerns, and then you talk to other people who are involved with this, of a certain authority figure, and they're gravely concerned about the situation. Um, and I think about Laura Cowan and the situation that she went through. Um, she was able to get up enough courage to slip a letter to the Postal Service clerk, and that was something that saved her and her children's lives, and other people who were involved with the situation. There were numerous people involved. It was horrific, and the man, uh, her abductor, received 7 consecutive life sentences for what he did to her and them, the people that were with her. So and I also have another friend who went through a situation, put a restraining order on someone. I encouraged her to do so at that time. I was gravely concerned for her, and I told her that. Very nice girl, and she did, and the match came back. When he broke the restraining order, they took a DNA sample. It entitled them to do that by law if you break the restraining order. And they put it into the system, and months later, match came up for a crime that he had committed. Horrible, horrible crime of kidnapping, abduction, rape, robbery. So, these are very serious things that happen, and I did not know Laura prior to the crime. We actually ended up meeting by chance online. I saw her out there, a comment that she made in Twitter land, and just shot out a remark to her. Did not know who she was or what her past was, and we connected, and got to know each other, and that's how that transpired. The other person, I do not want to say how I got to know them, or give any more information about that, because I am concerned about her well-being. And for myself, here I am sitting in the dark talking. So, there definitely are a lot of things that go through your mind, and I find out that you get nervous energy. It's hard to focus on, like in the morning, getting ready for work and making sure I do things accordingly to get those things taken care of. I find that it's really hampers my focus to be productive and consistent in putting things together. So, because I do have thoughts throughout the day regarding this, and it's very disruptive. One of them is just turning around and looking to see who's close to me. Staying in a public area where there are a lot of people around is definitely safer, which is where I am right now. I'm in a public area, and actually I'm in a public area basically almost all the time, because when you're homeless, this is how you have to live. So, or some people might go somewhere that doesn't seem quite so public. but not in my case, I don't. And, I'm not your, what I'd say, typical homeless person, meaning someone who, unfortunately is not well behaved. They don't take good care of themselves. They're, ingesting drugs, alcohol, um, or have mental illness issues that prevent them, and they don't or are not able to work. I'm fortunate I'm able to work, thank goodness. But I do, I have consistent thoughts. Uh, it's surprising. I am keeping note of a lot of the thoughts so that I can use this for writing further down the road. And, I can create this into victims in the murder mystery series that I plan on writing. And maybe there won't be a murder in every single one. Maybe there will just be some victims, and they have survived. But basically, I think pretty much all those books running through my head right now are murder. So, um, you know, writing fiction is much easier than writing nonfiction in the sense of crime. And when you're going through it, it's definitely tough. Uh, there is one book that I will be writing about domestic violence. I do plan on doing it. I wish I had the time. If I didn't have to work a regular job, I'd be able to get through a lot more. Being stalked definitely is hampering things for me in a tremendous way. It's horrible. And I'm umming and eyeing it to death over here. I'm sorry about that. They wouldn't be happy with me in the speaking classes that I plan on taking, but I find that I'm distracted, so that's what makes it a little tougher. However, writing is something just amazing, to get inside the characters' minds and to write what they're feeling and what they're going through as the story moves along. It makes it intriguing to see how it is when I read it back. It's like, wow, that's so cool. I can't believe I wrote that. Because it's like two different worlds. How I think and who I am is totally different from the books, basically. I mean, you'll find bits and pieces of my personality in certain characters. However, people time and time again have said to me, "Oh my gosh, you are nothing like this. I can't believe you wrote that. It doesn't seem anything like you." But this is observing behavior and studying behavior of people who I've been surrounded by and putting it into the characters and building on that. And it does put it all together. And I have been through a lot, so I can add that to it as well, put those feelings into it, and then I'm quite creative on top of it, so I can add additional to that. So then when you do read it, those are some of the things that you are getting in the book. And it's some of what is going on already. I started the second book. I wish it was completed. I wish that I could have someone go over and edit it for me right now, but it's not done. And I am looking into having someone do book covers for me. I do have a girl that I would like to be on the cover of all 5 of the 48 series books. She actually is a true 48 descendant. There is a real family called the 48s, and I have to tell you that it was a girl that I went to grammar school with. I grew up with her. She also went to high school with me. And her poor family put up with me. They took me camping a couple times, and I'm a terrible at camping. Of course, I'm stuck in this living situation right now, so it's just uh, not my cup of tea. However, they were quite gracious putting up with me, and I enjoyed the times that we spent together, other than the fact that I hate camping. I'm sorry, all campers, I'm just being honest about it. Um, yep, you're looking at a homeless person who would much rather be in a hotel with room service and luxury and being waited on hand and foot, and that definitely is not my life, but that is what I enjoy. So, I, and being homeless is a lot worse than camping. Camping definitely is way better than this. But there is no campsite around here, and I wouldn't live in a campsite because I would definitely be concerned for my safety. Uh, but I had contacted the girl that I went to school with and asked her if it was okay if I used their name. I wanted to use their name because I'm part French, and so I wanted a French name for the series, and she gave me permission to use the name, and she said that it was fine. And one of my main characters, named Ellie, actually is the same name as one of her relatives, Ellie Fortier, but this has nothing to do with the real Ellie Fortier. Ellie Fortier is a child. I've never met her. I don't know that I ever will. So this absolutely has nothing to do with her. I love the name, Ellie. I think it's a really, it's a cute name. And I like the name Fortier. I thought it would be a great name for the series. So I am thrilled that I was given permission to use that name and that they were fine with it. They know that they're absolutely nothing like the characters in the book. These people do not do those types of things. And her dad actually used to be supernumerary, which I don't know if some of you know what that term means, but a part-time police officer. And, he told me some great stories when he would give me rides when I was a kid. And that was pleasant too. So there's part of the background on that. And I know this has been an awfully long tape. I don't know how many of you are watching it, but, if you enjoy it, please pass it on to a friend. I think it's good for people to realize the types of things that someone, is experiencing homelessness, and, unfortunately now stalking is going through, but also to remember, that I am spending time jogging and exercising to improve myself. I have to take a little rest time right now for my leg to heal up. I'm not happy about that at all. I'm definitely concerned because I want to keep losing weight. So this is also about weight loss, and hopefully for anyone out there who is in terrible situation in their life, hopefully you can gain something positive about watching my video. I hope that I can encourage you. I've been through a terrible time. Took 11 years to find out what was wrong with me health-wise and get myself into decent shape. The last surgery I had, my lung collapsed. So, just hang in there, whatever you're going through. And, just keep hoping for that better day, because I always have. I always said it's got to get better, it's got to get better. And it's been 11 years. So, I'm glad I have a job, to think of the positive things and give some positive feedback. I've got, I'm thankful that I have my brother and my sister-in-law, and they have children too, so, that's very nice. I'm happy that I have them in my life, and, I don't want to talk about my main family because I feel right now, especially with the stalking issue, I do need to protect them, and I forbid them actually to approaching me at my place of employment for their safety reasons. And let's see, what else are some positive things that I can tell you? Well, my health is getting much, much better. I will continue to run once my leg heals up. I have lost about 5 pounds, even though people tell me I look like I lost a lot more than that. So I'm sure some of it was muscle weight. That's a positive thing. Let me see what else. Oh, I am able to handle the heat way better than I was before. So that's a very positive note. I used to get heat stroke. So that is very exciting that I can get through this really bad heat. Um, it makes me tired and stuff, and it doesn't feel good. Like right now, I'm uncomfortable because I'm like all sweaty and sticky. I think I still might be able to go to a location, have a shower, even though it's getting kind of late. It should be really nice and refreshing. So that's a positive thing. I do have a place that I can go and shower, even though it's not open all the time. So I have to be really careful with my schedule to make sure that I'm able to get there when I need to. And my teeth look whiter. How about that? I think it's from the toothpaste that I'm using. I think that is Crest Whitening Toothpaste. Even though I don't want to do an advertisement because I need to verify that for you before I do. So don't, oh, I forgot to eat my yogurt. Shoot. Sitting here in a hot car. That's not good. Okay, so I can't verify the toothpaste for you. I'm thinking that's the one I'm using. And if somebody wants to know, I'm sure you can send me an email on that, and I'll get back to you. I hope that I'm encouraging. I hope just sitting here and talk to you about what's transpiring has encouraged you to keep going. Like I said, I am homeless. I have had a very bad time with my health. I do have a brother and sister-in-law who are supportive. They don't have financial means to support me, but he's there to listen. Otherwise, the rest of the people who are who I grew up with, who I'm related to, are not supportive. And I've been working on losing weight. I need to lose a good 20 pounds at least. And no more than like 25, though. I'd be too thin. I want to look healthy. I'm being stalked right now at my place of employment. My employment does not cover my bills. That's another reason why I don't want to try to have a rent, because it'll make it even worse. It'll make it really bad. I mean, I could even lose my car if I ended up renting a place. And I want to use what little bit of money I have, hopefully, to try to get some book sales. So, if I was selling the books, I could get a place to live. And it's one of my dreams to be able to just write full time. I've got a whole slew of books. And now, after all this experience that I've had going through and dealing with these hardships, I can really put myself inside the characters' minds and develop them, I think, quite beautifully, as I've been told that I've done the characters that I've already written. So, and I've dashed it with some humor and whatnot, too. So, I would hope that you would enjoy it. I hope that, this video's been okay. I haven't been all, laughs and giggles, of course, because I am dealing with some really rough stuff right now. But I hope this video encouraged you anyways. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.